We know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
I am happy to join with you today in what will go down in history.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of Faith on the Frontline, where we address and highlight the manner in which communities of faith embrace, encounter, and advocate for issues that are relevant and specific to the human condition, where we advocate for social justice and economic parity and for the humanity of all individuals. This broadcast connects together the varying dots of the different pixelated parts of the picture of the common community that all of us live within, interact within, love, live, and struggle and die. And I am your host, Dr. Lewis E. Logan II. I am co-founder of Ruach Christian Community Fellowship, executive producer of this broadcast, Faith on the Frontline, along with my co-host, the Reverend William Monroe Campbell, who is away on assignment, but may be calling in later on today. We salute my brother. Appreciate so much his support and his presence, and appreciate the legendary Brother Edwards on the console today, making it happen, handling all of the technical equipment and providing for us 21st century cutting edge technocracy. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, and I just want to give you a round of applause because you was out doing what you needed to do for you and your community. And welcome back.
Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure. And I was sharing with you earlier the amazing way that technology provides for us the opportunity to be in several places at one time. I was headed on a flight to the East Coast and was able to connect with my co-host here and just give some input on our broadcast simultaneously. It's just an amazing day to be alive. And I'm thankful that all of you who are listening over whatever means by which you are able to do this, you're streaming on the web, you're also perhaps Skyping in. It's good to greet you. I hope you'll call in and give some input and comments at the appropriate time during our broadcast. That number is 323-247-7443. And I hope that you will avail yourself to the opportunity to talk with me, to talk with some of my guests. I am proud to bring to the mic this morning two of the 21st century's, or 20th and 21st century's great labor leaders. They have a history of advocacy and service on behalf of workers who give of themselves in the pursuit of providing excellent service in various municipal capacities, whether in the county or the city or what have you. And so I hope I do have on the line Miss Gilda Valdez.
No, not at the moment. There's no one called yet.
Mr. Michael Green, who are of Local 721. They are our initial guests who will be calling in to talk about the recent struggles with the LA County. The workers have not had a raise in several years, maybe 5 years. And the proposed 2% raise increase is really, when you factor in the numbers with respect to the taxes that will be taken out of the checks and the cost of health care, is simply peanuts a month, which really doesn't make an impact. Gas is going up. Food is escalating. Everything related to fuel costs is escalating. But the wages of workers who work and provide services that you and I enjoy and oftentimes take for granted is not adequately compensated. So the county workers are certainly raising their voices in a collective sense. I also am proud to bring later on in our broadcast a entrepreneur who I had a chance to talk with during the West Coast Expo last week. he happened to be able to. Can you get this, brother? It was just answered for me. I think that may be them trying to call me. If not, to tell them I'm on the air. Just swipe across the front of the screen. This brother Michelle Israel is an entrepreneur who has launched a courier business and shipping company called United Shipping R Us, who in his vision for a approach or innovative approach to providing shipping services is not afraid to step out and take the risk of going up against and going up alongside the big boys like FedEx and UPS. So I'm excited to bring to you one of our new and upcoming entrepreneurs who's going to talk about his particular venture. And then finally, on the last part of our segment, we want to talk to Dr. Alvin Love of Chicago, Illinois, who is an advisor working with President Obama on the development and rollout of the recent affordable care provision for the nation. And I'm hopefully that you will tune in, call in, ask questions, and give your concerns about the Affordable Care Act that will assist you in accessing all of the pertinent information that you need so that you can determine what your level of health care is available and affordable for you and adequate for your families. So we're going to take just a brief break. And when we return, we'll have our guests on the line, Ms. Valdez and Mr. Green, to talk with you and update you on the recent struggle in the county. I want to encourage all of our county workers to call your friends, call your coworkers, and ask them to tune in to LA Talk Live. Ask them to call in and give their comments at 323-247-7443, or ask questions or give commendations to two of our greatest labor leaders, Ms. Valdez and Mr. Green. We're going to take just a couple minute break, then we'll be right back. Stay tuned and be informed.
Hi, this is Dawn Christie inviting you to join me every Friday, 1 p.m. Pacific, for my all-new show, The Dawn Christie Show. Join me as I discuss love, spiritual readings, your purpose, why am I born, what am I here to do. So don't forget to tune in The Dawn Christie Show at 1 p.m. Pacific, exclusively on LA Talk Live. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B or watch us on Ustream TV, reality radio, handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Hi, this is Romy Klinger.
This is Rose Garcia.
And we are inviting you to join us for the Romy and Rose Show every Friday at 4 p.m. Tune in for the Romy and Rose Show. We're going to be talking about pop culture, dating, business 101, what's ratchet, what's not ratchet, and music and so much more. So don't forget, tune in to the Romy and Rose Show. About to get real.
Exclusively on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes.
Okay, dear. Great dinner. It's 8 o'clock and it's Friday. We're gonna watch LA Talk Live. Got this new show called The Shock Factor. Okay, let's check it out.
You rock in the Shock Factor.
From the boot to the block, and now I'm rocking with the Shock Factor. And it's the fact that we have you on live from 8 to 10 o'clock.
Yeah, you are.
Right here.
Hi, this is Princess D.
Yo, this is Momo, and you tune into the Shock Factor on LATalkLive.com.
Reality radio, handcrafted for your listening pleasure.
From the booth to the Glocky, now I'm rocking with the Shock Factor.
Please re-record your message. At the end of your message, press 1.
We're back at Faith on the Front Line. Thank you for your patience. Some technical difficulties. We're working it out. The inimitable Brother Edwards knows what to do. He is the wizard behind the veil, and he's going to call our guests and get them online. They've been trying to get in, but for whatever reasons, you know what it's like. So we're thankful to be able to connect with, again, the incomparable Ms. Gilda Valdez, and Mr. Michael Green, making it happen and holding it down for county workers, whoop, whoop, who are fighting the good fight for respect and dignity. Welcome to Faith on the Front Line, Ms. Valdez and Mr. Green.
Good morning. Good morning.
So grateful that you are taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you're having meetings this morning and you're in the throes of negotiations, and I just want to commend you for your forthrightness in doing what you're doing on behalf of thousands of families and their breadwinners, if you will, who are trying to provide for them. I'm grateful for your courage. Tell us a little bit about where things are, what you're doing in reference to that, and just how you feel about the status of your movement so far.
So I'm gonna let Michael Green, who is the regional director for LA County, talk about the latest developments. But I just want to talk just a second about the services that our members provide. We have 55,000 members in Los Angeles County, and we've been at the bargaining table now for a few months. Our workers in LA County haven't gotten a raise in almost 5 years. Wow. And through this recession, our LA County workers really have maintained, and upheld the services of LA County, making sure that LA County has been functioning and working at its highest possible level. Absolutely. We have classifications that include our social workers. Social workers are, making sure that our communities and our children are kept safe, mm-hmm. Right? Sure. We also have, all of the health system in LA County that we represent. We have the DPSS mm-hmm. workers who make sure that we have the aid that's necessary for our community. Right. And there's just many, many classifications, but, I commend our workers for, hanging in there with LA County to make sure that we can provide the best quality services to our members during this time. And now, now that we're at the bargaining table, all of what our members want is to have a fair contract. That's all they want. I want Michael to go, if he could explain in detail a little bit what's happening, and then where we're at in negotiations after this major action that we did on October the 1st.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Yes, good morning. So with L.A. County, as Gilda was saying, it's 55,000 members, and since 2009, we haven't received a raise. We haven't received a raise at all. But they've been asked to do more with less workers. In order to make it through this economic recession, there was a sacrifice made. We lost 4,000 L.A. County positions, but our workers came together to make sure that we can continue to provide not only quality public services, but the productivity of those services has increased in the last 5 years.
Yes.
So right now in bargaining, as we all know, they said they want to give everybody a raise. Our members deserve a raise.
Sure.
But however, behind closed doors, there's other particular items that they want to say and talk to us about that they're not saying really publicly. For example, they want to hold our health benefits hostage in order to create another particular item as far as medical security retirements, where they want us to give up that particular takeaway in order to get the health benefits, supplemental payments that we need in order to create and make sure that all of our workers and their dependents have health benefits. So with that, we feel that, and the workers feel that they wasn't being forthright in making that statement a couple of years ago. So we had a rally on Tuesday, as you know. We want to thank everyone that participated in this rally.
Absolutely.
I think it was a majestic event, not only for our members, but for the community advocates as well. We had over 5,000 members and community and partnerships and different CBOs and grassroots organizations that attended that event, along with our clergy.
Yes, sir.
It created a surge throughout L.A. County right now. All of the county is talking, the city is talking, the newspapers, the media, the radio. So everybody is really getting the message. We had a delegation that go and spoke with the county CEO, Bill Fujioka, at that particular event. And guess what? He showed up to our bargaining table yesterday.
Wow, that's huge, huh? Is that huge?
So with that, we consider that a victory in moving in the right place.
Yes.
We want to negotiate in good faith. We want to make sure that we want to bring closure on this contract soon as possible, and that we can continue to provide the quality services throughout L.A. County.
Absolutely. I appreciate the synopsis. So for what will this mean for county workers should the contract be ratified and should your demands be met?
Well, we don't have a tentative agreement yet, and so right now we're gearing up, in the field for our next, escalation tactically, which is that we're getting ready for a strike vote. We have to be prepared in case the county does not want to continue, does not want to negotiate in good faith. It was a good sign that they came to see our bargaining team yesterday, and Fujioka heard the frustration and level of anger from our bargaining team. But as that is occurring at the table, we are preparing and mounting for the field, and so. We are going to gear up for a strike vote. Right now, the date is October 23rd, and so we're hoping that it's going to not have to be a strike vote. We're hoping that it's going to be some kind of tentative agreement, but we can't count on that, and so we have to get ready. So that's where we're at.
Right, and I'd just like to add, first of all, like yesterday, our first proposal was about ride share. It was about coming together and making sure that we can apply for those grants in Washington, D.C., along with the county, so that we can take cars off the street and our members can take the Metro line or any other type of community transportation in order to get to work, so that we can help have clean air. The other one was about community wellness. We want to make sure that these property owners are not skating through the tax loopholes that will deprive the county of receiving revenue in Los Angeles County, to bring more revenue in Los Angeles County. So those non-economic proposals for the living wage, decent wage, prevailing wages, all of those situations where we want to make sure that we uplift the economic base in Los Angeles County as well. So it's not just about the four walls in the workplace. It's about coming together, making sure that our members are respected, the community is respected, and that we can uplift the economic base throughout Los Angeles County.
Absolutely. It sounds like what you've attempted to do, and much to your benefit and to your credit, is to provide a model of partnership with the county to not simply ask, but also be willing to give. I mean, after all, you've gone without a raise for almost 5 years, which has to have been a relief for the county coffers. And you're simply looking for some reciprocity. Is that correct?
That's correct. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And we're hoping that you will receive that. And what has it meant to you to have, this is Faith on the Front Line, and we do like to highlight the way the faith community responds to and addresses the issues that you have just talked about. How has that been a benefit, or what effect has that presence had on your movement, the faith community?
Well, I think that, first of all, throughout L.A. County, where our members are that go to the different, whatever worship and churches that they go throughout the week, as well as the community of their next-door neighbors. I think it's very important for the faith-based community to step up, because we know the faith-based community has the pulse of the members, of the people that live in the community, whether they clothe the naked or feed the hungry, or provide shelter to people who need shelter. It's about building that network together.
Absolutely.
And it shows the Board of Supervisors, it shows L.A. County that we're here. We're part of the fabric of the pulse of the community that needs to come together to be strong and communicate to one another.
Absolutely.
Well, part of it is the folks that we are providing service to, our members live in these communities. They are the community,
Mm-hmm.
So we absolutely are grateful for your invitation to your radio show, and to have always, been partnering with us. We can't do this without the faith-based organizations. We can't do it without your organization. We all have to come together as one. And so we appreciate all the support that we've received from y'all.
Absolutely. Now, if there are any of our listeners who want to call and get information, or volunteer, or be a part of your Next Step efforts, how can they do that?
Call the union.
Right. You can call 213.
Okay.
368
Okay.
8609.
Say it one more time.
213 368 8609.
And this is Local 721.
That's Local 721. That is my direct number.
Okay.
Where we will make sure that we can answer the questions or provide any information that your listeners might need.
Okay. And that's Regional Director Michael Green, 213-368-8609. And you've heard the two of our great labor leaders. How long, let me just ask, I don't try to get in your business and try to find a hold you on all that, but how long have you been in this fight for worker justice, the two of you, Ms. Valdez and Mr. Green?
Well, I've been around for a long time. I've been in worker justice causes since I was 16 years old.
Wow.
So that makes it 37 years for me.
Oh, I wasn't trying to do the math.
It's a lifetime commitment. It's not a job. It's a lifetime commitment.
I can tell the way that you move around. You never sleep. I mean, the time when we were finishing one work and you were getting ready to go to dinner or something and do something else, I was tired watching you. And Mr. Green, you are the ever-ready battery as well. How long have you been in this struggle, and what's been your brief experience in this?
Well, I've been in this struggle. I'm born and raised here in Los Angeles. Okay. I grew up in nonprofits, fighting for welfare rights.
Yes.
Aid to needy children.
Wow.
Written proposals for job creations programs, smoking cessation programs for great beginnings for black babies. I've been involved in the community for over 35 years.
Wow.
Here, as I move forward from the job creations program into the labor. So I've been on participant side as well as employee side. So my job is to make sure that we move into the 21st century, bring everybody together so that we can make sure that we're providing the services that's needed in order to grow LA County.
You've got a surge, you've got history, you've got acumen, you've got experience, you've got the workers pumped and ready. You've obviously gotten the attention of the county supervisors and those who are in positions to make decisions. and you obviously have the community support behind you. I believe that you're on the cusp of exactly what you want. My prayers are with the both of you and with the 55,000+ workers, and we believe that when we fight, we win. Thank you so much for taking the time to be on our broadcast.
Thank you so much, Reverend Logan.
Have a wonderful weekend. Anything you need, anytime, please let me know. We'll put you back on air. Anything, anytime. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely. God bless. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to be in a conversation with Mr. Michelle Israel, founder of United We Ship, entrepreneur. I want to play a little bit of a conversation I had with he and another entrepreneur at the West Coast Expo just a week ago. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with Faith on the Front Line. Thank you.
People hate to hear bad news and good news too. Usually when it's not for them, it's about you. Ain't that messed up? Boy, this world's a trip. Either they keeping you down or they pulling you down. Clip your wings so you can tail spin and hit the ground. We all here together on this spinning rock, trying to make some sense of this life we got. And I ain't met a man yet that got all the answers. And I ain't been nowhere yet where they not fighting cancer. I seen a good prison system that gives second chances. What's the hate for? What's the war for? Well, ask Wall Street. It's probably why they stocks soar. I'm just a dreamer, you know, John Lennon. But what do I know? My head stays spinning. A world full of hunger where people can't make it. They say we ain't got it. Man versus who can waste it.
I'm moving and I won't look back, no. I'ma get what's for me and get where I need to be. Won't let nothing get me off track, no. Yeah, it's a part of my story. No struggle, no glory.
Since the day I was born with two arms where they try to fit in. I refuse to conform. Yes, life, but there's more. Let me show you this story. I struggled so far to cover up these scars. The devil is so real. I feel him at work. Feel him breathing. It's burning my shirt. Both at one time, the gift and the curse. But no, since way back to go on my mom's purse. Lessons I've learned, the heads that I've turned. It's not their concern. Watch as they burn. I rise to the top. None of us can stop. We own the whole block. Doors is unlocked. While all these jobs drop, they claim they saw cops, but we saw nothing, so we don't stop. Coolest freeze pops, the coldest 3 knocks. The drugs and bull stop. First I heard pop. Yeah.
I'm moving and I won't look back, no. I'ma get what's for me and get where I need to be. Won't let nothing get me off track, no. Yeah, it's a part of my story.
Are you having sickle sex?
Sickle sex?
Yeah, sickle sex. You won't know unless you've been tested.
Really? You can really get sickle cell from having sex?
No, but your baby can. If you carry the sickle cell trait, you could possibly have a baby with the sickle cell disease. Find out more today and get tested. This message brought to you by SCD Social Network.
Audio.
Talking with Brother Keith Turner, who's principal of Turner Stone, and Michelle Israel, who's who is the CEO and founder of United We Ship.
Yes, sir.
These are two entrepreneurs, 21st century pioneers, brothers at the West Coast Expo being held at the Convention Center downtown LA. This is the 27th and 28th event that is sponsored at the principal or signature event of our weekly newspaper. Tell me, gentlemen, Mr. Turner, Mr. Israel, why this particular event is critical to what you do. You do biochemical,
biodegradable motor oils and cleaning solvents products. This is important to me because I came from South Central.
I see.
My grandmother did the first lawsuit in this country in 1947, 1956 documented.
Wow.
Called the Clinton 12.
Okay.
I used to sell papers on the corner of Florence and Broadway.
Okay.
So I've been in the community for quite a bit. blessed to have scholarship and want to give back. I want to see some of this functionality come back and bring families back to functionality.
I see. And how does your business help to benefit the community with a net benefit?
Well, our bottom line is we're in the mindset of each one teach one.
Okay.
So if we start our businesses, create jobs, and give these guys an opportunity to show them how to successfully start from beginning to end on minority certifications, minority process, what it takes, how you get qualified versus disqualified. Because they don't want to do business with you first and foremost when you don't have your certification and your jackets in order. So we'll want people and help people through those processes.
So in terms of the actual business that you operate, what exactly do you produce?
We bring ultimate biodegradable motor oils to the table. Our end users are MTA, Metropolitan Transit Authorities, Highway Patrol, fire departments, fish and game, marine. We're going to be coming into all the ports and harbors because our oils do not pollute the water.
Wonderful. And are you the alchemist, the chemist who?
I'm actually a part of the foundation of the creator. I've been part of him since conception to the point of taking on a distribution company to distribute it internationally.
Wonderful. Where is it based?
Right now we're based in Rancho Cordova, coming here to Los Angeles.
I see.
I covered it.
Real quick. As you are, so United We Ship is a part of a sponsor of the West Coast Expo. You're part of the shipping team for West Coast Expo.
Correct. We do trade show, pick up and deliver.
United We Ship entrepreneur is on the line with us right now, Mr. Michelle Israel. So proud of you, brother. Welcome to Faith on the Front Line, and thank you so much for taking time out of what I'm sure is probably a busy production time for you to talk with us about who you are and what inspired you to launch, to step out on faith, as it were. Absolutely. To found.
Well, thank you. Brother Logan, I greatly appreciate the opportunity to be a part of your show, and congratulations on your success and your hard work in the community over the years. I've always admired you and always thought highly of you. So with that being said, I am the founder and CEO of United We Ship. Now, United We Ship is a single-source logistics provider that provides transportation logistics services from small parcel package to heavy freight, dealing with truckloads or rail, any mode of transportation that someone would need to move a product or a good, we handle. So we're a single-source logistics provider. We have a partnership with Greyhound Package Express. Most people don't know that Greyhound Package Express is a division of Greyhound, and they've been delivering packages since 1914. Wow. So we're looking to compete in the marketplace with UPS and FedEx as it relates to small parcel package. Brother Logan, what got me into this business, I've been in the industry for about 24 plus years. I started off delivering packages on a scooter in Hollywood, and from there I've learned every facet of transportation and logistics. And today, what the company is today is a culmination of all of my experiences. But one interesting thing is that I know you are very big on social justice in our community, and I too have a heart for that, knowing my background being a former executive director of Jesse Jackson's Rainbow Push here in Los Angeles.
That's kind of how we connected.
Yeah, I'm sorry?
That's kind of how we met in the first place.
That's how we met in the first place. So, working with Jesse for the number of years that I did in the Trade Bureau, and how he was adamant about reaching out to minority-owned businesses, particularly black businesses, and allowing them to get their fair share with corporate contracts. So, that's being baptized with that social responsibility. In my short time working with Jesse Jackson as an employee, I left his organization to start a nonprofit organization called Urban Social Entrepreneurs. Now, at that time, Urban Social Entrepreneurs, the concept and practices, they're based on the philosophy of social entrepreneurship, and that is focusing on a triple bottom line, the people, planet, and profits. we looked at that model and said that would be a great model for urban communities, but we're slightly a little different. We focus on a quadruple bottom line, and the first is purpose. In our community, most of businesses don't really have a purpose other than making money.
Yes.
But resources and money is how communities are rebuilt. And in our communities, we've got pastors, great pastors and reverends like yourself. We have our politicians, but we don't have our entrepreneurs that are in our communities that are recycling those dollars and that are teaching the next generation.
Yes.
So what Urban Social Entrepreneurs is about developing the next generation of social entrepreneurs within the urban community, those who give back, those whose practices and philosophies. It's not so much about just making money, although making money is very important, because without those resources, you can't enhance your community. Right. So, but what you do with those resources from a business perspective, and that's where United We Shift came from. Originally, that's the thought was, how do we create an environment within the industry that I know and have been successful with in the years, that we can take that concept and multiply ourselves, not add, but multiply ourselves within a community, within an industry, and build off of that industry. So one of the things that United We Shift is doing through Urban Social Entrepreneurs is we're training social entrepreneurs in the transportation and logistics industry. I would more like to say urban social entrepreneurs, where they can come out and be owners, whether they're owner-operators driving vehicles, whether cargo vans or step trucks or 53-footers, or they want to operate one of our retail shipping centers similar to a UPS and FedEx Kinko store, or if they're interested in becoming an agent and out selling and operating logistics as a broker or a third-party logistics
So those are like several job openings that you just mentioned.
I'm sorry?
So those sound like job openings you mentioned.
Well, yeah, at the end of the day, there's jobs out there in the marketplace, but we're more concerned about creating owners.
Yes.
There's too many organizations in our community trying to get us a job, but we need to move from being job seekers to job owners, job creators. That's what we need in our communities. And it is my mission to provide that in the industry that I've been blessed by in the transportation and logistics industry, and we're looking for like-minded individuals who are also looking for business opportunities. And we'll hold your hand from early age to your elderly years. We'll hold your hand as long as you have a desire to be an entrepreneur and to do good within the community.
I feel
that's
like
what Urban Social Entrepreneurs is about.
I appreciate that, and the concept that you just elucidated provide, I think, a pretext and foundation for the perpetuation of your philosophy, because you are not just doing it; you're also promulgating it. You're processing it so that others can get it. You're planting seeds. Now, how can someone get in touch with you? Because this is extremely important, I think. What numbers can we call to get in contact with you about Urban Social Entrepreneurs, for instance?
Well, a number you can reach us on is 877-229-0577.
Okay.
And our website is urbansocialentrepreneurs.org. That's Urban Social Entrepreneurs with an S.org.
Okay.
We're on Facebook. Go to our Facebook page, like our Facebook page. And then our for-profit, which is our social business, which is a entity of Urban Social Entrepreneurs. Our nonprofit is United We Ship.
Okay.
That's UnitedWeShip.com.
Okay. Fantastic. And they can get it. So let's do the number once again.
877-229.
Okay.
0577.
0577. When do you have specific intake sessions or a time of enrollment, or what's kind of the way that you can get involved?
Well, the first thing is to make a call, go to our website, fill out the information, tell us what level of interest you are. And this is not for everyone. It's for entrepreneur-minded individuals. So there is an interviewing process. because we put assets, we put resources into those candidates who inquire.
Okay.
And so we got to make sure those candidates are the ones that have the heart and the drive and the willingness to be an entrepreneur. If you're looking for a job, we do have a job board on our website under UnitedWeShip.com. But our primary focus with urban social entrepreneurs is creating urban social entrepreneurs.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Any particular story of maybe the youngest young person to step up, young lady, young man to step up and say, I want to be a part of the urban social entrepreneurs organization and program? Anyone come to mind? Any young person come to mind?
Yeah, I do have a young person that comes to mind. Gentleman by the name of Roger. Roger came to us a few years ago when we first got this off the ground and just fell in love with the concept.
Okay.
Currently, I do some one-on-one mentoring with him as it relates to his business and his philosophy, as it relates to how he wants to build his company. And from there, he's came in and he's looking at opening up one of our retail shipping centers here in the next 2014. Currently, he's in the distribution industry, and I have him working with another organization that is associated with us. So, currently we have a couple of young 18, 19-year-olds who have gone through our training program. And they're out right now, of course. We've got them vehicles, we've got them cargo vans, and they're out making money, learning how to become entrepreneurs, enjoying the benefits of having their own territory, and being able to have pride in what they do. They're 18, 19 years old. I started my business when I was 19. So we're creating that kind of environment, that kind of atmosphere. And as the concept grows and as the philosophy is vetted, and of course we're profitable, we'll continue to create other urban social entrepreneurs within the marketplace.
I want to thank you for allowing us to have the privilege of hosting hosting you and this just powerful concept of each one, reach one, teach one, lift one. I want to commend you for your visionary work, and I hope that one way or another we can continue to bring you back and talk about it. I hope you'll allow us to continue to push your United We Ship business on our broadcast as a sponsor, so that we can continue to let people know that you are doing what you're doing and where your distribution locations will open in the neighborhood and in the community. I hope also that you will connect up with those business owners who may be listening right now, who need transportation services or logistics or shipping logistics. If they have a parcel that they need picked up from one location and delivered to another, that they will contact you. Is this 877 number the place where they can call as well, or is there another number for United We Ship?
The 877-229-0577 is a number that you can reach both urban social entrepreneurs and United We Ship. Remember, United We Ship is a social business, social enterprise of urban social entrepreneurs, a for-profit entity. And yes, we need the community support. If you've got something that you have to ship, you have an alternative over FedEx and UPS. So give us a call. We can save you up to 30 to 40% over UPS and FedEx, and we're nationwide. We have the coverage of a nationwide network. So there's no parcel too small, and there's no package too large that we can't deliver for you.
Michelle Israel, CEO of United We Ship, UrbanSocialEntrepreneurs.org, a mover and shaker, and someone who is willing to not only make bread but lay bread crumbs for others to follow the path to their own self-determination. I want to thank you, Mr. Israel, and we want to again say you got to come back, and thank you for being on our air with us this morning.
Well, thank you, brother. God bless you, and keep doing the work that you do. I'm proud of you, brother, and I'm looking forward to our next conversation.
You got it. God bless you.
God.
We'll come right back. We're going to talk with Reverend Dr. Alvin Love, who is a consultant with President Obama on the Affordable Care Act. He'll be right back in just a minute. Don't go anywhere. It's going to be a quick break. In fact, we're just going to do let me just do this real quick while we call Dr. Love and get him on the line. Let me just give a shout out to our sponsors who continue to make sure that we're able to be on the air. If you're hungry like I am around this time of day, it's about time to pack up. If you like seafood, I'd encourage you to go to Uncle Daryl's Cajun Cuisine, 2560 Lincoln Boulevard in Marina Del Rey, right at the corner of Washington and Lincoln. You'll smell it before you see it. You'll find yourself salivating. You need a towel or a bib or something before you go in. But I'm telling you, just follow your senses. Whatever modality you experience food, Uncle Daryl's will take care of you. Tell them Pastor Logan sent you, and they will really take care of you. They have this out-of-sight tea that'll make you slap the person in line behind you. And then, of course, if you're not looking for seafood, but you like soul food cuisine, I'm going to just tell you like this. Don't try to go in there if you're on a diet, because they will make you lose your diet. Go into Doolin's on Crenshaw, soul food restaurant. I know I'm pushing food, but I love food. I just like to also make sure I keep it balanced with physical fitness as well. 4859 Crenshaw Boulevard here in Los Angeles. Doolin's on Crenshaw. Talk to Greg, tell him Dr. Logan sent you, and he'll treat you well as well. So that's Uncle Daryl's Cajun Cuisine in Marina Del Rey and Doolin's on Crenshaw Soul Food Restaurant, 4859 Crenshaw Boulevard. Time for lunch. Let's go. I'll meet you there. Don't act funny when I show up in line next to you, because you're paying for me and for you. Thank you so much. I'm glad to welcome on the line Dr. Love, Alvin Love, who again is the pastor of Lily Brand Church Baptist Church in Chicago, Illinois. He is, of course, as I've said before, a colleague in the work of the Lord. We work both together in the African American Leadership Ministers Conference. We met just a few weeks ago in Washington, D.C., and he was extremely, extremely informative as it relates to the Affordable Care Act and the manner in which faith communities have been helpful. This month of October, as you know, was the launch of the Affordable Care Act, and Dr. Love is going to talk to us a little bit about that, and also about how faith leaders can ensure that our respective communities of faith, our churches and our members, are plugged into, tuned in, and ready to access information to effectively provide affordable health care for their families. Dr. Love, are you on the line with me?
Yes, I am, Dr. Logan.
I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day. I know you're a couple of hours in our future. And to that extent, you certainly have been a part of the forward-thinking modeling of our president, Barack Obama. I'm proud to talk to you, and I was proud to learn of your connection with the Affordable Care Act and your connection with the way it's outlaid and has been rolled out, as it were, on a national scale. Can you talk to us a little bit about how you got involved and exactly what you do?
Well, I got involved, I guess, from the very beginning. Wow. When a young community organizer out of Columbia College came to Chicago to do some organizing, and he stopped by my church to ask me to get involved, and we began doing community work together in Chicago in a group called Developing Communities Project, of which he ultimately became the executive director. And so over the years, our relationship has grown. I probably was the only pastor who was relatively his age at the time. And so I've kind of been with him through every election, and, every event. And when he became the president, he asked if I would help him to get the resources of the federal government on the ground where local communities could access them. And so I've been serving with him for these now 5 years or so, kind of as a faith-based advisor, and doing whatever he asked me to do in terms of connecting resources of the federal government with the needs of the local communities.
Mm-hmm. That's wonderful. What a privilege. And I guess it speaks to how the Holy Spirit enables us to be available. We never know at whatever time that we get connected about what the future holds. It's like I have not seen, in a sense, huh?
It's That's absolutely true. The day he walked up, I had just finished giving a guy off the street some money to go get lunch.
Wow.
And when Obama walked up, I thought it was another guy getting ready to ask me for a stamp.
You're kidding. Here comes some more money.
So thank God, they say be careful how you entertain strangers, lest you entertain angels unaware.
Oh, you're preaching, Reverend. You're preaching, Doc. Good Lord. That's it. So I know you talk to other colleagues about this, but what has been some of the things that maybe made you scratch your head in terms of the response on both sides, both detractors and supporters of Obamacare?
Well, I think the surprising thing to me about the response, particularly for people who support it, is how little they know about it.
Wow.
We're coming in, particularly as a community of faith. We're I think a couple steps behind. Mm-hmm. We really should have had a whole lot more information out before October 1st,
mm-hmm.
And now we're just beginning to catch up with it. That being said, we are catching up with it
quickly.
I think it will, it will go well. What surprises me from the detractors is that there's pretty much the same thing. There's so many detractors who don't know the difference between Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act. They don't realize they're the same thing. And they are, a lot of people. It was interesting. A few weeks ago, there was a group protesting in Kentucky. They were carrying signs saying "Impeach Obama," "Down with Obamacare," and they were at a rally to open up Kentucky Care, which was basically the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, as we call it, tailored for the state of Kentucky.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. There was this interview, a series of interviews that I heard on the radio or television yesterday, and the interviewer was asking the various individuals randomly whether or not you support the Affordable Care Act or Obamacare. It was asking one juxtaposed to the other, and not 10 out of 10 said down with Obamacare, up with the Affordable Care Act.
Yeah, and it's the same thing.
Incredible. So it suggests, what does it say about the misinformation campaign? Is that what that's a byproduct of?
Oh, that's exactly what it's about. Okay. They try to label it Obamacare as a derogatory name to scare off basically poor people who are not Democrat or African American, and to scare them away. To say that Obama is trying to do something with your benefits, and so that kind of smear campaign has gone on. But the president's kind of taken a liking to the Obamacare.
What they meant for evil, huh?
Yeah. It's because whenever they say Obamacare, it's a constant reminder that Obama cares.
It's amazing. Okay, I hadn't thought about that part. That's interesting. How we take lemonade and make lemons and make lemonade. The thing they throw at us to make it seem negative, we've flipped it. They don't know we're the masters and wordsmiths and concept creators. It's just amazing. Chitlins. I won't even get into that because I don't eat the stuff. But they threw pork at us and we just turned it into a delicacy.
That's right.
That's right. And I appreciate how you took the experience you had and really morphed it into something that has provided a credible resource for the faith community. You mentioned in our conversation earlier that there are some resources that will be available to the faith community, and something about the significance of October. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, of course, the Affordable Care Act rolled out on October 1st.
Yes.
The open enrollment period is from October 1st to March 31st. And it's the goal of the administration to enroll 7 million people into the Affordable Care Act through the marketplaces. If that happens, everyone's rates will go down in the country.
Wow.
Because the sheer numbers of people who are in the marketplace will drive. This is capitalism at its finest. Drives the market place down. But October is kind of, for the faith community, is a month that we want to kind of lift up healthcare. And so we're doing healthcare in the pulpit around the Affordable Care Act, to remind people Sunday after Sunday that it's time to enroll. If you have health insurance, then go on and check it to see if you're getting the best bang for your buck. And make certain that you're getting everything that's due to you now because of the Affordable Care Act. So every Sunday this month, we're trying to dedicate to informing our constituency about the Health Care Reform Act. And then the weekend of October 25th is kind of a national faith weekend of action. We'll try to do some things during that week to enroll people and to get them into the marketplaces and get them full coverage.
That's awesome. And you have some reflective or some materials that the pastors can possibly look at to utilize for perhaps liturgies or litanies or texts from which to preach.
Of course, for any information about the Healthcare Reform Act, you can simply go to healthcare.gov. It will carry you all the way through with that. But for the National Faith Weekend of Action and the toolkits for healthcare in the pulpit, you can go to getcoveredamerica.org. That's getcoveredamerica.org.
Getcoveredamerica.org.
Yep, and they will. They'll have their toolkits and things that you can get to really inform the people in our churches and in our communities about what's available in the Affordable Care Act.
Okay. And is there a Facebook page? Is there anything that you've set up in particular that we can access? Anything like that in the social media environment?
No, we're actually just in the process of doing that from across the denominational lines. I'm actually working with all of the historically African American denominations to kind of tailor our information across the board so that we're all saying the same thing. We're saying it in the language of our particular church. So that should be coming out within the next week. There's also a site called Enroll America, and Enroll America will help in terms of giving you the toolkits. And again, it's the same thing. It's enrollamerica.org.
Okay.
And they deal with the healthcare in the pulpit program, fact sheets. They will even pull together trainers in your community who will come out. If you want to have a healthcare event and be trained it's a kind of a trainer, be trained in the Healthcare Reform Act, they will come to your area and provide that training for you.
That's an amazing outreach opportunity. And I appreciate the fact that it was by virtue of your consultation and support that you informed and helped to sensitize this effort to the needs of the faith and tailor it to the needs of the faith community. I was just extremely proud of the fact that you were a part of that, and I appreciate that you've been forthcoming with this information. And I'd like to, if you don't mind, kind of connect with you from time to time to kind of update us on the progress of the enrollment campaign and how you've seen the way in which you've seen faith communities shape their campaigns and drives and initiatives and information sessions specifically and esoterically for their respective constituencies. I'm just really proud of you, bro.
Oh, well, thank you. And it's a pleasure, of course, meeting and knowing you, but certainly I'd be glad to come on, at your convenience and just keep you abreast of what's going on as we get to the 7 million person.
Wow. How many do you think so far? I mean, I heard that within like an hour or so, like 1 million hits, it flooded the whole system and they had rebooted.
It flooded the system. It really was, it was 2.8 million visitors to the website between midnight and 11 a.m.
Wow.
On October 1st. And in addition to that, I think 81,000 people called the 1-800 number.
Wow.
And 60,000 people went online to request live chats. And so we're kind of, retooling the site and gearing it up with more bandwidth so they can handle more people.
Yes, yes. For the Republicans, some of the Republicans to suggest that people don't want Obamacare, quote unquote, and then to see the numbers of hits and the level of inquiry, it seems that they are out of touch with the reality.
They are definitely out of touch, and I think any person, black, white, red, brown, yellow, anyone who has a health care bill or a health care costs will probably find those costs going down if they simply go on the healthcare.gov website and put their information into the calculator. Probably most people who are within 133% of poverty line will probably get free health care.
Wow.
And anyone from 133 to 400% above the poverty line will probably get reduced and subsidized health care. So one of the examples is that a family of four making about $95,000 would find their monthly health care bill somewhere between $50 and $100 a month.
Oh, my God. And
that's life, but it
that's
is
after your premium assistance and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, man, we're going to have you back and talk more about it. I want to thank you, Reverend Dr. Alvin Love, for being with
You're
us.
welcome.
And have a great weekend. Preach the gospel, bruh. I know you will.
Thank you. You do the same.
I'm going to do the best I can. The pastor of Lilydale First Baptist Church in Chicago, Illinois. He is one of the faith-based consultants to President Barack Obama. Knew him when he was just a community organizer. It's been fun. It's been informative, and I hope empowering to you, Faith on the Frontline listeners. For our edition of Faith on the Frontline, big props to my co-host, Reverend William Campbell, holding it down where he is, and for all of you doing what you do. Do something informative and empowering this week. Be a part of the solution. Don't just talk about it, be about it. Don't whine and complain. Organize and make something happen. Till next Friday at 11 a.m., this is Dr. Louis E. Logan II, Faith on the Frontline, giving big props. My man Van Eric making it happen. Thank you, sir. And to all of you, love you. Talk to you next week, Lord willing. God bless.